What's up, guys? Welcome to Sports Lounge Media. I'm John Hamilton and I run SLM Bets. Man, what a year that we had in 2025 for the NFL season. A lot of upsets and a lot of upsides, a lot of things that happen with a lot of injuries. But the positive thing we're here to talk about is the betting. We did really, really good last year. But one thing I want to jump into right away is the information that we know now of what happened in 2025. Would you have done betting differently? Well, let's dive into it. The first big team I want to talk about for upsetting from what we initially thought that was going to do well into the 2025 season and moving into the end of the 2025 season was 100% the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons took a big L this year and did not reach the performance that we thought we had inside of their staff and roster. That's okay, but some of those games really ruined a lot of people's parlays. What do you need to do differently to change it to make your parlay more efficient? What we need to do for the parlay to be more efficient is cut legs, minimize your legs, maximize your bankroll. How do you start doing that? Well, here's what I want you to do. If you are a football fan first, that's what I want you to focus on. I don't want you to start betting for favorite teams. That's when people get emotional and that's when people start making mistakes with betting. So I want you to start out. The first week is going to be coming up this year, right after the Hall of Fame game. And there's a lot that you can do with inside that first week. I want you to take the strong suited schedule teams. You're going to go down the roster. When we get closer, we're going to give you our picks, which is going to be on sportsloungemedia.com. And I want you to pay attention to how this initial first week is going to go because a lot is going to play and give you a lot of tells for how that season's going to go. A lot of people think the first week doesn't give a lot of tells for the season. I disagree. I think it does. Look at the first week between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Yes, the Niners did win in Lumen. However, both teams were very close and they could have won that game. A lot of their players balled out inside of that format too. They ended up both having very good seasons. The 49ers struggled with a lot of injuries going into that season, but the Seattle Seahawks came up and won the Super Bowl this year. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, focus on strong formatted legs. 2-3 legs, even if it's at a minus 110 or a plus 105, whatever the spread odds may be for your payout, that is what is going to help you get a bankroll into week one. You're going to keep rolling over in that effect. You're going to keep pulling out your initial principal. You're going to take your profits and set it aside, and you're going to stabilize your bankroll because when playoff season comes this year, you're going to be betting heavy, you're going to be betting strong, and you're going to be betting winners. This playoff season, I lost one pick the entire playoff run, and that was between the Bears and the Rams. I thought the Bears absolutely had that in the bag. There was a lot of misplay call coaching from Ben Johnson, and if he kicked one field goal, they would have won. So there's a lot to take away from this entire season, but I really want to dive in. I want to make you guys stronger with betting. I want to make you guys stronger with your bankroll, and it's time to grow the tree of wealth. Okay, and how we do that is we start small. You cannot climb a mountain in one step. You have to take multiple steps to get there. So let's do that together. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the draft. A lot of these draft picks are really going to change the format of speed going into this next whole season. You're going to see veterans that having to step up with speed. Conditioning is going to be a big thing. A lot of the injury formats, a lot of people coming back off of them. And there's going to be a lot more movement of the ball passing. There's going to be a lot more running. I personally think dual threat quarterbacks are just going to be the staple now in the NFL. I really do. I think the shotgun formation, more of like Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, maybe you could even say Tom Brady, stuff like that. I don't think there's going to be a lot more of those quarterbacks left in the league. I think that it's a beautiful thing to see when you have someone that can just throw the ball for 5,000 yards in a season. But that's the other thing I want to talk about. The passing, there's futures. Futures are the best way to set yourself up for success. If you can do it early and you guess right, you win big because the odds are huge in the initial part of the season. So you have futures. And I am personally going to say, most of the quarterbacks, but maybe 2 or 3, and I don't know yet. I got to do my digging, got to do my homework, got to do my investigation on these guys. But besides 2 or 3, I think most quarterbacks are going to throw under their expected, and here's why. NFL changed the kickoff rules. It used to be when the ball went into the end zone, they started at what, the 20 or 25 yard line. Now they're starting out the 35-yard line. That shortens the distance between the time they get the possession of the ball, if they do a touchback, all the way to the end zone by 15 yards. That's 15 yards less. Now, let's say they average last year, the average was 2.8 touchbacks per game. 2.8 touchbacks per game. That means that ball's moving forward almost 3 times. That's 45 yards shorter. You times that by 10 games. That's 450 yards. You do it for 17 games. Do the math. Figure it out. That's going to shorten the expectancy of the passing a lot less. They're going to be heavy focused on the run. A lot of tools are going to be Swiss Army knives with their players like Deebo Samuel was in 2019. You're going to see probably a lot more backs that are going to be like CMC style, where they're catching the ball. They're able to run the ball. Hell, they might even throw the ball. But the big focus is betting on what you know. Use the statistics that NFL is already giving you, and please take them. Stop betting against the house. If Vegas has a favorite, it is more than likely going to hit. It is a 72.1% chance of the house winning. With sports betting, you need to play that into account. That means if you do singles, if you, instead of 16-leg parlay, why not bet $100 or $10 or whatever you guys feel comfortable betting? Obviously, this is not financial advice, but I'm here to give you the tools to be successful. Why not break it down, right? Why not break it down to where you're betting individual lines? So if you hit 7 out of 10, you have 7 winners and 10 losers, or 3 losers out of the 10. And then that way you're profitable. It may not be all the profit would have been in a 7-leg parlay if you hit all of them, but trying to hit a 7-leg right out the gate for week 1, 2, 3, and 4 is going to be next to impossible. Yes, there's luck involved, and yes, there's no guarantee what these players are going to be able to do, but you really need to focus on what's important, and that's micromanaging your bankroll to have success into the future. Okay, the only way to do that is by focusing, betting smart without emotions or irrationality, and stop betting on your favorite team. That is not how you're going to win. Now, big things, futures, player props, success, playoff pictures, division winners, all those are going to be huge. We're going to be diving even more so into that. But I want to know in the comment section, what would you do differently if you had the opportunity to go back? Was there a big parlay that you missed by 1 leg? Was there something that you wish you could have bet on more, like JS on getting as many receiving yards as he did, the Seattle Seahawks to win the Super Bowl? You know, what odds would you have changed to benefit your pockets a little bit better with the betting? Now, I want to know in the top comment in there, I'm going to be donating a free 20 bankroll to you guys, but you guys have to post in the comments, what would you have changed differently from last year? And the one that I like the most, I'm going to be connecting with you directly in the DM, so please have those open. The other thing that I also want to touch on, guys, is please bet responsibly. Gambling can become an addiction and it can ruin your life. This is here just for fun. We're here to talk about good advice and what we recommend based off of our professional aspects and our history and our analytics. But I want you to know, if you need help, please call 1-800-GAMBLERS. They're there to help you. Please reach out to a family or friend. And besides that, I always want you guys to gamble safe, smart, and responsibly. And that's why we're here to talk about what we're here to talk about. Okay, moving forward. We have some big stuff coming in. We have March Madness this month. Me personally, don't know a ton about basketball. With that being said, though, and what I've done my history on, I have a strong hope for Duke or UConn. Mark my words. Duke or UConn to go far in the draft, or the far in the bracket. I think personally that those two might end up playing each other if they don't get scrimmaged against each other early. We'll see though. Basketball is going to be a lot of fun for March Madness. We have a lot of big stuff coming up for SLM Bets. You guys definitely need to pay attention. We're going to be doing a lot of hosts, a lot of interviews, and a lot of shows. We're going to be traveling all over the country this year for football and other sporting events. I definitely want you to pay close attention and stay tuned, because we're going to be dropping huge things with subscription services, the SLM Bets, to where you guys can trail my personal bets and my recommendations and also the Marshall Experience for fantasy football advice. If you guys want to win your fantasy football team, he is the guy to go to. He helped me go from 0 to hero in one season in multiple of my leagues. Now, guys, here's the other part I want to jump into just really quick. With NFL is probably the safest sport to be betting on. There's many things that you can do, ranging from funny player prop bets to special bets to money lines to passing yards, rushing yards, first quarter props. There's a lot of things to start. And if you're just starting into betting and you're starting to get more interested, or you're kind of curious about putting your feet in the pool about how to do this, the first thing you guys want to do is you guys want to understand what odds are. I have a video way back when explaining what odds are, but odds are going to be your payout. If you put 100 in and it's an even minus 100, you're going to be getting 90 out of your 100 of your initial bet. Okay. You want to look for things that are going to be a little bit safer. And the first step is to bet on something that it's almost likely going to happen, right? So that's going to initially get you a win. That's going to put a win under your belt. You might win a couple of bucks depending on what you're wagering. When you're wagering money, okay, it's very important to pay attention to where your money is, how that team is doing. And if you're paying close attention, if you have cash out options, you can also do that if you feel like they're going to start tanking. Basketball is the biggest swing in sports betting by far. The over and under on total is a very easy way to bet on. If you think that team is going to go over and under, you can also pick money line. The thing I would stray away from is how many threes, points, rebounds, or assists that a player is going to get until you start getting more experience with betting. And since it is basketball season, there's going to be a lot of talk about that. We're going to be talking a lot about NHL. We're going to be talking a lot about UFC. We're going to be talking about golf, Formula One. But we're going to be mainly setting you guys up for success for this football season coming up, because last year we killed it. We absolutely killed it. Sports Lounge Media and SLM Bets with the betting profit percentages last year was amazing. All of us combined had an average of 78.5% picks on our money lines. And then my personal parlays, I hit 83.4% on my parlays, which is absolutely nuts. And that's a very high success rate because I'm betting on things that make sense. I do stretch out where I'm getting into a plus 1200 or a plus 2200, but that's only when I feel confident that I know that either the props, the players, or the parlay money line legs that I'm putting together are going to hit. You have to be confident in what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just donating money, and there's no point of doing that. And I don't want you to do that. I'm very sure about what I'm speaking about, and I want you guys to be with us on our journey so you can see how well we're going to be doing into the 2026/2027 season. And big things to come, guys. Big things to come. Why not follow, right? I mean, you do have to be a little bit spontaneous to want to gamble, right? And with your spontaneity, you want to come profitable. So let us help you with that. There is quite a bit for futures that are already out. Let's jump in really quick just to dive into it, and let's see what some of the futures are. If you guys don't know, I use DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings Sportsbook is absolutely one of the best apps to use. It's easy. It's straightforward. You get a lot of referral codes. We're going to be working on one for a referral code for you guys soon. That way you can get some match betting. Right now for NFL, there are some futures that we have won. So they have the back-to-back Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl champions if they go back to the Super Bowl and win. It's a plus 2,200. I don't know how that's going to play out for them going back, but we shall see. You can bet on individual teams right now to go to the Super Bowl. You can bet on the Bears. The Bears are a plus 2,500 right now. The Ravens are a plus 1,200. The Philadelphia Eagles are a plus 1,400, so on and so forth. So you can bet on futures like that. Right now, they have season division winners out right now. We can talk about that really quickly. They do have the Ravens favored to be the division winners. I have a gut feeling if Joe Burrow doesn't make a move out of Cincy, that Cincy being healthy with the draft picks that they have, I think they have a good chance of actually running it up, especially now that Harbaugh's out of the Ravens head coaching position. I'm not very confident on what they're going to be able to do. I know that Henry Lamar had very close ties with Harbaugh, and they enjoyed being coached by him. So I think that's a really drastic change, as well as the Kansas City Chiefs not having their stadium going into next year. I don't have them going into it. I do think I might have the Chargers this season. I might have the Chargers this season in the AFC West. But like I said, these are just futures, and it's just something fun to talk about. The NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are favored. However, I think that Tyler Shuck showed a lot of promising features as a quarterback for the Saints, and they actually won quite a few games with him, or at least looked a lot better at the end of the season. I thought that was definitely a good move. Spencer Rattler didn't have a bad season. He actually was one of the best quarterbacks that had the most losses. So yeah, it was kind of interesting with that. The other thing too is you can bet on the champion. That's kind of cool. You can bet on the Seahawks, the Rams, Bills, Ravens, Eagles, Chiefs, Packers, Lions, Patriots, or Chargers to win. That's pretty awesome. And all those have pretty good odds. I mean, you can keep going down for all 32 teams. If you really think that the Arizona Cardinals are going to win, that's a plus 30,000. So basically what that means, if you bet $100 and you had Arizona Cardinals, you're going to win 30 racks, which is crazy. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't have faith in that team. I think that Trey McBride's their best player, but I don't think Trey McBride alone can take a team of 21 other players plus all the other people on the sideline and a coaching staff and a franchise to win a Super Bowl. Realistically, the top six have always made a good run for Super Bowl, which are the Seattle Seahawks, Rams, Bills, Ravens, Eagles, and Chiefs. They're all within that, the capability of getting it done. Are we going to see a Chiefs go back to the Super Bowl? God, I hope not. That would be miserable. My San Francisco 49ers are at a plus 1,900. I think with their schedule strength, they have a decent opportunity in making another playoff run. And if they're healthy, they get some good draft picks and make some good trades. I think that they're going to make a really far run as well. San Francisco 49ers are a phenomenal team. They're a great franchise, and I think they have a really good realm under Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch as general manager. I think that they have more than enough capability and tools and aspects on all sides of the ball to be able to get to where they need to be, especially with injuries, a lot of players coming back. I think the Bears being at a plus 2,500 and the Broncos being at a plus 2,000 is kind of crazy, if I'm being honest with you. That doesn't make sense. The Giants, I think, are going to make it into the playoffs. By the way, you can bet on who makes it into the playoffs and who doesn't. Those futures typically come out around June. So definitely pay attention to that. You can do conference winners, AFC champion. You can keep doing individual awards for who's going to get MVP. But more and more of the futures on NFL bets will end up opening up more so when the season gets closer. You have trades that are going to happen here in March. In April, you have the draft coming up. You have the combine that just happened. There's a lot going on for them to kind of put in place. And then Vegas kind of has to bet on their expectancies of what's going to happen. So all that's very important. But yeah, guys, again, I want you to make sure that you're doing this responsibly and knowledgeable. So make sure that you guys follow for more content. We're going to be here on Mondays. Mondays are a great day for you guys to follow us. For Sports Lounge Media, SLM Bets. My name is John Hamilton. And if you guys ever need advice, please, by all means, reach out on all of our links. Please go to sportsloungemedia.com. We'll have all of our information, our bios, and anything else that you guys need with all of our other shows that we have throughout the entirety of the week. Go check them out. And as always, much love, bet responsibly, and let's